It's the giving season, and 32 Below Froyo and More is doing something special for the Children's Village this year. So if you would like to help by donating non-perishable food items, different gifts for different ages, go check them out. Follow them on social media. They have lists of things that the Children's Village needs during the holidays. So you need to drop all your items off before December 14th. And thank you, 32 Below, for giving back to the community.
Welcome to Keeping Tabs. I'm Tabitha Crock, and every Monday, I talk to someone here in North Idaho with the goal to connect more people in the Coeur d'Alene area. And then every Friday, I talk to someone outside the community to bring in a new perspective and to learn a little bit about yourself. All right, good morning. I have Stephanie with me. Steph, or Steffi, that's what I call her, is one of my favorite people, best friends from college. We used to be roommates, and we played some basketball together. She is a college athlete, amazing woman, mom, extraordinaire, got 2 little boys now, and she really focuses on healthy products, whether it's putting on your skin or in your body. And so we're going to really dive into some of the stuff she's doing. But Steph, thank you so much for joining me.
Of course.
And she also has her little one in the room. So if we might have some squeaks, some cute little squeaks. But Steph, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what you're up to right now.
Well, I grew up in a really small town, and that gave me a lot of insight onto just that I wanted to do more in life and kind of, get out and about. So I had an amazing childhood, grew up, went to college, like you said, played basketball, graduated and decided to go to physical therapy assistant school. So I took that on, worked my career in that, and then started to have children. So then I kind of decided that, okay, I need something else, another outlet to do at home. And that's when I got started in beauty counter. And so now I'm kind of stay at home. I have a 2-month-old, my most recent. So I'm just doing beauty counter, but then I'll go back to doing physical therapy assistant probably 2 days a week and do beauty counter as well.
Awesome. And a beauty counter, we'll start with that first, is because I buy some of my products from her. Like this one, this is what I called my lipstick for my podcast. But I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm officially...
You need more.
This was a reason I had you on the podcast. Really, I just need to get some more lipstick. I mean,
really
digging it
the
out.
truth comes out.
And so the beauty counter is what I thought. We hear people selling makeup, this, lotions, what you should put on your skin, what you shouldn't, wrinkles, as we're in our 30s, starting to realize this. But what I really love about beauty counter is the reason probably why you got into it is because it's so safe to put on your skin.
Yeah. So I actually got started when I was pregnant with my first child. I had, well, it's the second one.
Like, Mom.
Yeah. So I didn't have any idea. What I was putting on my body. Like, I've always been really health conscious, and workout, everything was what I was eating. And then kind of the last piece of the puzzle that I was missing was somebody approached me when I was pregnant and just said, hey, did you know, like, what you're putting on your body, some of those things have chemicals. And I was just kind of like taken aback, like never really even thought about it. I mean, I honestly just didn't really look in the ingredients, just trusted. And so I got started with beauty counter when I was pregnant, because I started looking at all the ingredients and like, oh my gosh, I've been pregnant for 6 months and been using this stuff. So I kind of just like snowballed into like, I got to dive into this. I got to, learn about this. I got to tell people about this. How did I not know? So that's kind of where I got started, was just because I was pregnant and one of my friends was like, hey, you shouldn't be using that while you're pregnant. And I was just like, okay, I had no idea.
Well, so. I think we all, because we want to use the best products. We want to like look younger and feel good and makeup that lasts all day. I think that we kind of forget one of the most important part is that it could be hurting your body, or if you're pregnant or your kids. It's very important to know what's putting on our bodies. And so I love the beauty counter for that reason too. I just think it's something we kind of like or we're just pretend that we were like, we don't want to think about that because that's too real.
Yeah. That's way easier. And that's, there's a lot of stuff going around right now, but that's one of the reasons why I love Beauty Counters, because they really do believe in educating you first so that you can just make a smarter choice. So a lot of, that's how the girl came across to me. It was just like, give her some education, let her make her own choice. And that's really what my passion in life is just helping people, give them the tools and then let them make a choice that's best for them and their family.
Exactly. And what I want to really talk about today is a path that you took not to, I guess, how many years have you been totally gluten-free, dairy-free?
I would say in 25 is when I really had to make a change. So almost 9 years.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about your journey with your, dealing with all of these hormones, those things, and what you've done now to really um, be in the best health.
Yeah. So I would say at about 25, I started to just really feel sick. I didn't have energy. I needed to sleep more than I ever had, even playing basketball. I just really felt off. I always had a stomach ache after I ate. I knew I was under a lot of stress, but I kind of just thought maybe there was more to it. So my sister at the time had been going to nutrition school to be a holistic nutritionist. And she's like, hey, why don't you just go, maybe get checked out and see what they say. And so that's kind of where I got started. And from that, I had to find the right doctor. So the first doctor I went to just said, you're depressed, you need to get on an antidepressant, and you probably need to get on an antacid because all the food you're eating is upsetting you. And I was like, there's got to be more to, like, I'm 25, like, so I didn't settle for that. And I just was like, there's got to be more to this. Like, I know that I can heal. Like, my body's amazing. I've done a lot. So I kind of just pushed back to the system and found what I believe was a really good path for me. And we started with taking out dairy was the first thing, and then gluten, and I still wasn't getting better. And so then we just really started down a path of testing my hormones, testing my gut, and it's 9 years later. And I mean, when I started, the first doctor I saw, he's like, you're probably not going to be able to have kids. Like, I hadn't had a period for almost 2 years. Like, I knew that something was off in my body. And he was like, you're probably not going to be able to have kids. And that's always been my passion. And I was like, wait, what? I'm 25. Like, yeah. So that's kind of how I just was like, I'm going to prove everybody wrong and I'm going to do this.
I think that's so, I, with your story, I have a couple of friends that are going through some similar situations, which is why I wanted to bring you on, because there's so many people dealing with hormone issues, the same things you went through. And it's down to like really fine tuning your health and figuring out, what do I need to take out, or what am I not doing correctly?
Yeah.
People, very healthy individuals. One of my friends, and she is the same thing, as she's dealing with that. So she's taking out the gluten, the dairy, the refined sugars, and really finding out what's right for her, because she's the same way. She doesn't want to be on antidepressants. She doesn't want to be on a bunch of medication and have to do that later on as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not an easy route, but I've just never been one that's wanted to put myself in a box of like, oh, I just have this, so I have to take this. Like, I just wanted to figure it out. And like, I've been in tune with my body. I wanted to, just try all the other routes rather than just say like, oh yeah, I could take that and feel a little bit better, but not feel 100%. Like, I just really like feeling good, and I was not going to settle for anything less.
I think that's so great, and it gives people hope that they can be healthy. And I think it's a lot of it is finding the right doctor, or finding the right tools, and the people
Yeah.
that like support you and help you, that it's okay, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I think that's what I really love about you. Is you've taken, you said you've taken the workout down, putting the right things in your body, and now putting the right stuff on your skin.
Yeah. Yeah. And we, like you said, we tell ourselves like, oh, that doesn't really matter. But, it is a holistic picture, and there's a lot of moving parts, and every little bit that you can do does help. So I think instead of taking the approach of like, oh, that doesn't affect me, just try it all and see where you can get, like you don't have to feel crappy every day.
Exactly. I'm going to ask a few fun questions. So what is a life lesson that you have learned the hard way?
Oh boy. Well, there's been a few, but I think that I learned pretty much in college that life does not go as you plan, and it doesn't necessarily matter how hard you work. Like I just always thought, oh, if I just work really hard, like I'll be able to figure everything out, and that's all I need to do is just work hard. And there's just some circumstances that are out of your control, and I really had a hard time with like realizing that. I think, I just always thought like work hard, that's all you need to do.
Well, and that's how you were brought up. I mean, you have
Yeah.
parents that have a tree farm that's how it is. Like you work hard and we'll do well. But
Yeah.
like that always in life. It's sometimes who you know over what you know. And a lot of
Yeah. Yeah, it took those kind of experiences to realize like, yes, it is important to work hard, but there is some things are not going to go as planned, and you have to be adaptable.
exactly that is perfect. So you are inspiring, amazing woman. What inspires you to be your best self?
I think pre-children, I just like I said, I just really like feeling good. I like waking up, not having to have coffee or anything relying. I love the feeling of being in tune with my body and just like having energy and feeling good. I mean, it's at the end of the day, that's like my biggest wish for everyone, is that you could just wake up and feel good and not have to like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this in order to feel good. Like it's just so refreshing to wake up and be like, I feel good. I'm ready to do this day. So I think that was really huge motivation for me prior to children. And now it's like, I want to feel that good so I can be a good mom, because it takes a lot of energy and work to be a good mom, to be a mom at all, let alone, I don't know if I'm being good, but I'm trying. So I think just having that energy, it's like now, instead of it being a wish list, I need it. It's like really important for me to feel good because I have two people relying on me.
It's definitely a lot of work. I've only nannied, I have nieces and nephews, but man, mom job is the hardest job I think there is out there.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to do the career thing and then be able to do the stay-at-home mom. And I tell my husband all the time, like, you have it easy going to work. Like it's way harder staying home. I love it, but I think the challenge of staying home and just being a full-time mom is really hard.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so if someone's listening here, and what would you recommend their first? So someone that's maybe feeling the fatigue or dealing with maybe some gut issues, or what is like, I guess, one piece of advice you would give them to like the first thing that they should do in their journey?
I think just like, your body. Don't let anyone tell you, oh, that's not real, or that's not how you feel, or just do this. Like trust how you feel and don't stop until you feel better. I think we get very sidetracked and influenced by people that tell us how we're feeling or what our diagnosis. And at the end of the day, like, how you feel. And that's really all that matters. Like some diet might work for every single person and you feel like that's what you should be doing. But if you don't feel good on it and you don't trust yourself on that, then you're just going to be chasing symptoms your whole life.
Yeah.
So I think just trust how you feel.
Great. So you have a lot of amazing people in your life. I'm fortunate to know a lot of your family and friends. And, is there someone, whether it's family, friends, I don't know, celebrity, anybody, is it someone you kind of look up to, or is more like your hero?
Well, I don't think that I could have went on this journey and went the maybe harder, more natural route without my sister. I have two sisters, but my middle sister is the holistic nutritionist. And, she was really my cheerleader in my corner, just telling me like, this will pay off. You can do this, because it was not an easy fix. It was not overnight. So I think her just being there and being my support system and telling me that I can do it and I will feel better was huge. And then, as you know, our best friend that has passed away, I often find myself just being like, what would Haley do? What would Haley say? Or how would Haley, she just had that vibrant, like, tackle life and don't settle for anything less and put a smile on your face, never talk bad about people. So I just often find myself putting, what would Haley do? And she's a good leader, even though she's not with us. She's still doing her job.
Seriously, it's like we all need to live life like she did, because she lived like there was no tomorrow. Whether it was, laughing for hours to, doing the best that she always did. She was an entrepreneur. Like if she was still around, she'd be doing something like that, some side hustle, something, because that was who she was. And before and hustle was like buzzwords, already doing that.
I 100% agree.
So you're in Great Falls. You're a Montana girl. If I'm coming to Great Falls, what is the go-to restaurant?
Well, for someone in my shoes who cannot eat dairy or gluten, your go-to restaurant is actually Fire Pizza. It has gluten-free crust options, and you can do, I'm just able to eat there and I don't get sick. So that's my one tried and true here in Great Falls. If you can eat whatever you want, a lot of people, there's like an old restaurant that's been around forever called Bori's, and it's like a spaghetti, just kind of one of those landmark places in Great Falls. But I can't eat there.
Well, I think it must be the same company, because we have a Fire in Coeur d'Alene, and they do gluten-free everything too. Like they'll do gluten-free and they'll do different options for toppings and stuff too.
Yeah, is it a wood fire? Like, okay, yeah. So that must be. I didn't know. I haven't looked in to see if it was a chain or not, but
there's one in Spokane too. So it might not be like a big chain, but maybe just like Idaho, Montana, because that's the only time I've ever heard of it. I know you guys had one.
Yeah, I don't think there's another one in Montana. So, but yeah, I'm fortunate to still be able to eat pizza, so I'm happy.
That's awesome. So have failed at that you really learned a lot about yourself?
Something I failed at, is that what you said?
And that you really learned a lot about yourself when you failed at that.
100%. I don't know if it falls in the category of failing, but I ended my basketball career with a torn knee. That was my last surgery. I had 3 prior to that, but I was a junior. I thought I had another year and a half left, and I was just going to go on and be a coach and just take the total basketball path, and just always thought that's what I wanted to do with my life. And I tore my knee, and my doctor told me I needed to be done playing basketball. And so I thought, okay, I've spent all this time, my whole life, every single day, putting hours and hours. My friends would be doing whatever you do in high school, and I'd be getting up at 5:30, going to the gym and playing basketball. Like, I put everything that I could into that. School is important as well. I did well in school, but I put a lot of effort into basketball, and it ended suddenly on a jump stop in my junior year. And I was just like, wow, what am I going to do now? And that's how I got into physical therapy, is because I had to go to physical therapy myself and was like, oh, maybe I could do this. This is an amazing career. Like, I'm so glad. That's the only good thing that came from me tearing my knee, is that now here I am, 10 years later, physical therapy assistant. And I don't think I would have ever went that career had I not torn my knee. So
crazy. If you had a billboard and you could put anything on this billboard, what would it either have or say
on it? In honor of my dad, you don't get something for nothing. He would drop us off, kick us out of the car at 5 a.m. and say, you don't get something for nothing. And we'd be on our way to go run or shoot hoops or do some kind of hard work. And he just always reminded you. That's probably why I thought if you just work hard, you could get anything done. But He just always reminded you that you don't get something for nothing. Even if you think it's free, it's not. So
if someone wants to reach out to you, whether it's maybe they're dealing with some issues and this strikes a nerve, like, oh my gosh, maybe this is why I'm not feeling well all the time, or I want to figure out more healthy care products to put on my skin, how can someone get a hold of you?
I am on Facebook and Instagram. So those are, I feel like, the mainstream ways. And then I'm happy to be anyone's support system. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to give you medical advice, but I can tell you what worked for me and kind of, navigate some of the roadblocks of get you in touch with the right people. And I'm happy to do that email. I mean, it's a hard road when you don't feel good and you feel like you have nowhere to go. So I think if anything, if anybody just needs that extra support or someone that's going through the same thing, I would say reach out to me. I'm an open book.
Awesome. So we're all going through a really rough time. It's COVID. People are going crazy. We're going through the election. Everything's been nuts. What is one piece of advice you would give anybody listening that's going through kind of a struggle right now, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally? Just a little nugget for them.
I think if you just take some time to be present, be off your phone, be not in a conversation, not watching TV, and just check in with yourself, like, how am I feeling? Am I anxious? Am I sad? Am I upset? It's okay to feel feelings, but I just think this day and age, we don't really check in with ourselves. We're always distracted. And so I feel like that's something I've really had to do, especially with having a newborn. You don't get a lot of time to yourself. And if I just get that daily, even if it's 5 minutes, check in, I think it just keeps me, in tune with myself and not get way off track.
Yeah, that's so great. Perfect. Well, Steph, thank you so much for giving me some of your time today.
You are so welcome.
Thanks for listening to Keeping Tabs. I'm Tabitha Kroc, and every Monday I release a podcast about different community members here in North Idaho. And then we end the weeks on Fridays with a podcast about the things I'm passionate about: outdoors, adventures, sports, the van life, and even current events. So if you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube, Spotify, or iTunes. Thank you again. Now go be kind and do something great.